Hi, it's Garry. Welcome to today's live broadcast. How are we all doing today? Hope you're all doing awesome. Sorry, got a bit of a frog in my throat. Let's start with a look at the weather. I know that some people have already mentioned their weather, so let me just check this and then go to Safari. So currently we're at 24 Celsius or 75 Fahrenheit. And we're predicted today to get up to 35 Celsius, which is 95 Fahrenheit. So starting to get some warm days now. Tomorrow is going to be a bit of a belter because our forecast is for 41, which is 106. So I think tomorrow might be even a 4-t-shirt day. Let's get back to the camera. Slightly different angle today. Normally, up till now, you've seen me sat in my chair, but I've been finding my posture's been getting a bit weird, or not quite, I was starting to get where I felt like I was slouching down and sliding down backwards all the time. And this year's theme being Grow, which is Generate, Renew, Optimize and Wind Up. What I did is I thought, right, I need to do something about this. So I had a stool which was always sat to the side of me. I used to use it a lot. So I thought, right, let's move the chair out of the way and switch to the stool. The only problem is the stool is higher than the chair. So I've had to reposition my desk. Fortunately, it's one of them magic desks that you press a button and it goes up and down. So yeah, slightly different angle. But also, it means you shouldn't see me going backwards like this, hopefully. Yesterday, I watched Wasty Squirrel's video where he was talking about his pens in use. And in his chat part, he was talking about the papers he was using. Now, I did put a comment on. I've just finished using this. This is what I've been using for those daily videos, them daily shorts that I put out, where I do my quotes. And it's just an exercise book. I think I got it from Kmart, which is like one of the big box type stores. 50 cents, I think it was. That was about a year ago. So I've been using that, really, actually not too bad. I mean, yeah, it doesn't 100% show some of the properties of the ink. So what have we got here? This is Sleigh Ride, but I can still see now. I don't know if it comes over on the pictures in my videos, but I still see some of that sheen. I just finished it yesterday, or should I say this morning. What I do, though, because of the way the paper is, I don't write on every page, and at 50 cents, I can afford to do this, really. So I leave a blank page, but as you can see here, very, very little in the way of show through. And I say 50 cents, and it's 96 pages. And there's lined. They also had graph paper and plain. I just went for the lined. So, yeah, I really want to back up what he's saying. There's lots of paper out there that you can use. You don't have to spend a fortune. Just pop that over to the back. What else have I got to say before we jump in? Last week I mentioned about that Wix website that I'd set up to go and vote for the pens that you'd like to win for. Come on, Garry, use your brain. For the Pens in Use month, it's something I'm just experimenting with. So I've spent a little bit of time this week, and I've moved it. Well, it's still hosted on Wix, but I've now got my website up and running, which is eves.id.au. I'll pop that into the chat when I can find it. I know there's loads of messages there. We'll come back to those. eves.id.au. It just redirects to Wix, but it's just a simpler way of doing it. So here we go. I've spent a little bit of time trying to work on it as well. My working title, My Pen World. I may have changed that, but I think that's actually quite nice. Here we've got the link there to that poll. What I've added on here, so we've got, this is a link to the YouTube channel, so it's showing the last 9 videos. So we've got the full ones as well as the shorts. But it doesn't seem to be all the shorts, so maybe I need to work on getting that refreshed. In fact, it was that, I can't remember what Friday's video was. So I may need to look at getting that to refresh better. Then we're coming down, and again we've got another link here. I'm calling it my train of thought, so that will have a list of all the blog posts as I do it. A little bit about me, I've not put that much on there. Pick of the month, haven't done that yet, so this is just a placeholder. There's various links there to my social media. So I'm on Mastodon, Blue Sky, YouTube, obviously. I do have accounts on Facebook and Instagram as well. I'm a bit dubious about them, but at the moment we'll live with it. Then below that, we've got the last 6 photos from my Instagram feed. And then at the bottom, you can actually email me. So there's a button there which has my email address embedded in it. So you can click on that and it should open up your email client and let you send me an email. I wonder why this hasn't refreshed. I'll have to look at that. Let me make a note. Why hasn't YT refreshed on website? So I'm still working out what I want to do with this website. This is part of the grow part of this year's theme, which is, to grow what I'm doing. So I'm thinking about how I want to use it. I want to use it as a blog type stuff. But as I say, I need to think about it, work out the best way that I can take advantage of it and get the most interesting things from it, and provide value through it. So let's head on over to the comments. Morning, David. Hello from Austin in Texas, where it's 52 Fahrenheit, 11.1 Celsius. And we're bracing for a snowstorm starting Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning. We'll see if it actually gets cold enough to actually happen. Yeah, I know, I keep saying that. I remember snow. Anyway, Tony over in the UK. Hello, David. Welcome to you, Tony. I hope I'm connected. 8 Celsius here in Wiltshire in the UK. David, asking Tony how the football went, Leicester City versus Fulham. I know someone who used to do a lot of stuff with Fulham. He used to know, I've met a couple of times, the guy a few years back, obviously he's no longer there. He used to actually be the one who looked after the whole stadium. Quite interesting stories he could tell me. Tom, greetings from Northridge, California. David to Tom. Hi, Tom. I hope you're not being affected by the Santa Anas and the fires. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Yeah, I was listening to Skeptic's Guide to the Universe this morning. And one of the people on there, she does live in the LA area. And she was saying that although she wasn't directly affected by the fires, she says she knows obviously people that are. But she said the indirect result is air quality. And the air quality is really, really bad. Which, so like people with asthma or breathing issues, is actually causing them a lot of problems as well. Tony, sorry, David, I'm Formula One, not football. I know what you mean there. I don't like football. Formula One, it's not something I go out of my way to watch it. Going back about 15 years, I was living in Melbourne and I was lucky enough to be invited to a corporate hospitality at the Australian Formula One. It wasn't on the Sunday, the actual race. It was on the Saturday, which is where they do all the practice rounds and stuff like that. Really interesting. Where it was located, we were actually right on the corner, so you could see stuff happening. Really enjoyed it. Plus, there was loads of free booze. I mean, what's more important? Steve, hi from Utah. Welcome to you, Steve. David, to Tony, that's okay. Just curious. I looked it up and Fulham won 2-0. Tony, 2-0 to Fulham. David, oh well. Let's move them down. Ted, hi from Seattle. Welcome to you, Ted. Blonde Scales 1, hello from Arkansas. Welcome to you, Blonde Scales 1. Marie, trying to survive the Arctic blast in Michigan. Have you got Arctic blast inked up in one of your pens? Are you able to do that? Right, using Arctic blast during an Arctic blast. Tom, the winds are predicted to return on Monday. Right now, it's calm. Tony, I missed the members Zoom. I filed up in the time zone, so hopefully going forward, I should have GMT and Eastern Standard Time in the post that I put up about the members calls as well as for these. It's actually in these now as well. The idea is I want to try and make it easy for people with time zones. Blonde Scales 1, our temps are currently dropping. Yours are dropping, ours are going up, I tell you. It's really going to be a stinker today. Could even be a 4-t-shirt day today. Ricardo, good morning from cool London, 8 centigrade here. Well, that's not bad, especially when it's night. 8 centigrade's, livable, he says. 8 centigrade. Yeah, we do get down to about 8 sometimes, maybe 1 or 2 days a year. Tony, hi, Ricardo. Blonde Scales 1, same time of day as the live. Marcy Me, hello from Texas. Welcome to you, Marcy Me. Ricardo, hi, Tony. Formula 1 here as well. David, let me just move the screen. Ooh, we're going up. There we go. I'm celebrating getting one of the first Mont Blanc Celadon de Grade Le Grand fountain pens available in the US market. Dromgoole, of course, in Houston, had 2 of them and gave me a wonderful price. Yes, on our members Zoom yesterday, David was showing this pen. Beautiful looking. I loved the green. I love the colour of it. I'm looking like this, and I'm told if I look down like this at the camera, I can't read what's in the comment. Tony, hello, Blonde Scales 1. I got the wrong day. Hello, all from Harper's Ferry in where it's currently 38 Fahrenheit or 3.3 Celsius. Welcome to you, Jim. Tom, I got the time correct, but the wrong day. David, it's a wonderful Grail pen, and I'll be holding off getting any more for a while. Yeah, I can well understand that. Jim, I've held off for a while, but placed my last order with Anderson Pens, the Century 3776. Their site closes down at the end of the day on the 21st. It's a shame to see them going. I mean, I know why it is, but yeah, certainly a shame. Blonde Scales 1, got a good movie to watch in a bit. Oh, what's the movie? We watched last night on Amazon Prime, My Spy 2. We'd watched My Spy last week. I thought it was better than the first one. And it's got the Rock in it. It was a good, fun film. Marcy Me, Kmart, wow. I can't tell you the last time I've seen a Kmart in the US. It used to be the Walmart of today. Yeah, over here, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they just bought the naming rights off Kmart in the States, because the same company that owns Kmart here also owns Target, which I know is a big company over in the US. But yeah, it's like a big box store. We've got Kmart, there's Big W, which is owned by Woolworths. And yeah, Target's getting to be very similar, although there's a lot more clothing in Target. But yeah, I think, as long as it does the job, I think I put in the comment I put on Wasty Squirrel's post yesterday, and I keep saying this all the time, it's there to let you get ideas out of your head and onto paper in a way that you enjoy. The tools you use don't matter, as long as you're enjoying doing it. Oh, there's me putting that website. Kaz, good evening from London. Welcome to you, Kaz. Strolly. David, anyone in Texas region might want to make a note or two. Annabella Sophie Hiller from the Netherlands will be in Dromgoole's Nibmeistering on February the 20th to the 22nd, and Kirk Spears will be there in April. That Annabella, is she the one who does the nibs for Appleboom? That rings a bell. I might be wrong, though. Tony, Jim picked up a Century 377 this afternoon, almost mint for £80. Writes like a vintage pen. That's not a bad price. Anita, do they make good movies? Marcy Me to David, thank you. David, my wife gave me a 3776 for Christmas, the forest green kanji model with a medium nib, and it's great. Excellent taste. I don't use my 3776 often enough. I do find it can sometimes feel a bit on the small side, but it's nice pen. When I write with it, I love the nib. I love that stiffness, that firmness in it. I also like soft nibs, but that 3776 is joy to write with when I'm using it. David, to Massimi, you're welcome. Tony, hello Massimi, I had a play with your M600 art today. Awesome. Yeah, Massimi, was it yesterday I watched it? But the video might have been from the day before with a pelican. I've been getting a little bit behind with my YouTube watching lately. Ricardo, yesterday I received my first Bennu pen, a Daily Mate Creative Thursday in lovely violet and brown. The broad nib is smooth and wet, paired with diamine Atoll Violet, I'm not sure. It came with a small flower pen rest. Yeah, I've watched a couple of videos on them. I've got one to watch later on this morning, hopefully, from Simone. So I've got that on my list of videos to watch. I've only got the one Bennu, which is that Dragon's Blood, but yeah, I do want to get some more. Blonde Scales 1, older movie, first saw it back when we watched Elvira's movie Macabre. Wow, Elvira, that's going back in time for me. Was it Elvira, Princess of Darkness as well? Robin Allen, good evening, everyone. Welcome to you, Robin. Marcy Me, Tony Bin, so glad you enjoyed. Chris, hi from Toowoomba, welcome to you, Chris. And then we got David with a couple of good evenings. Ricardo, hi, what nib is it? On your 3776. Jim to Tony, that's what, about 97 USD from Anderson. It was 240 for the Burgoyne with the extra fine nib. Yeah, the one I've got is the Burgoyne. It's a nice colour, really pretty. Marcy Me, Texas says plenty of NASCAR and football. Blonde Scales 1, I prefer hockey, so I'm going to get myself into trouble here. I'm going back a few years again. I used to work with a woman from Minnesota, and she used to come in talking about hockey. Now, to me, hockey is played on a green field, not on ice. And if it's on ice, it was referred to as ice hockey. So every time I used to say to her ice hockey, well, the trouble I used to get in from her, it was, no, hockey is on ice, it's just called hockey. David, Austin even has a major league sort of soccer team. Yeah, this is another thing which, like over here, football, if you say football to people, they generally think of Australian rules football. Rather, and then what I would call football, they call soccer. I've only been to one live AFL game. Again, going back a few years, and again, and the reason I went, it was corporate hospitality, loads of booze, and it was really funny. You know, I described it to somebody as it's a punch up, and occasionally a ball gets thrown in the way. But what surprised me with it is, you know, you'd have your teams playing, which, yep, good on that. But then you'd have these blokes in like yellow tops running around, and they were messengers. So they were actually running on the field whilst the game was being played to various players, telling them what to do. I just thought it was ever so funny. I can't understand it. I mean, aren't they intelligent enough that they're told at the start of the game what to do, and then they just get on and do it? Jim, I've recently got a couple of good extra fine nibs and counting on the platinum extra fine nib to be a good nib. So I don't have any experience with the platinum extra fine. Mine's a medium. Tony, Garry, the last time I went to the Australian Formula 1, it got cancelled and I ended up in North Queensland for 6 months owing to COVID. Oh, although North Queensland, that would be, is that like Cairns area? That sort of area? I went to Cairns a few years ago. You know, everything's a few years ago for me. And yeah, I loved Cairns. I think if we were to move cities again, it would be a toss-up between whether we went back to Melbourne or we went to Cairns, because I really liked Cairns. Made by Dawn. Good night, Garry. Welcome to you, Made by Dawn. Good night, everyone from Belize in Central America. Welcome to you. Ricardo to Jim, the extra fine nib is the only one I don't have yet. I'm just going to go back to Made by Dawn's comment here, where she's saying where she's from. One of the things I'm toying with is I want to get a world map. The house is currently a bit topsy-turvy. We were having new floor installed earlier this week, so a lot of the rooms were emptied. So in here, I'm surrounded, you can't see them, but I'm surrounded by boxes from my wife's craft room. By craft room, it was one room, and now, because we had to empty everything, she's going to have 2 rooms. So she'll be having craft rooms. Let me just have a mouthful of... Oh, no, I'm still on my tea. Mandalorian mug today. Anyway, yeah, I want to get a world map. Now, and then I'm not sure whether to get a physical one or do it digitally and have it on the website. And then as we get people come in over time, I want to build up like a picture of where people have been watching or joining in. And I just think that'd be quite interesting. Jim, I guess Gary's having some technical issues. Not that I know of. My preview's working fine at the moment. Now, that could be maybe from when I showed Safari, I closed the web screen before switching cameras, and it would have just shown a black screen. Blonde Scales 1, Zoom chat time is 6:30 p.m. in Central Zone, US on a Friday. Where's that mouse gone? Every time I turn my iPad on, I lose my mouse. And that's up we go. And that's just for future reference. Jim to Ricardo, I'll have to let everyone know how good it is in the next live chat. Marie to David, yikes, that pen is gorgeous, but way out of my price range. Yeah, that's a problem with Mont Blancs. Robin, recently found Japan pens on Amazon, purchased a Sailor 1911 for $74 US. Beautiful blue sparkles and a 14-karat nib. When I look back at the $200 and $300 Pro Gears, yeah, you can get some decent stuff on Amazon. Not so much here. We do have Amazon, but the selection is nowhere near as good as it is in the US. Ricardo to Jim, thanks. Blonde Scales 1. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That's why I said good. Oh, wow. That's really, I remember watching that. I think I was in my 20s. Wow, that is going back in time. Made by Dawn, Gary, I love your Jinhao reviews. Planning any in 2025? Absolutely. This is my box of pens to review. As you can see, it's currently full. Let's just do a quick look. What have I got in here? I know there's a Jinhao 82. There's a 9019. That's a duckbill. What's that one? I think that's another duckbill. Not sure what that one is. I think that's a Jinhao as well. Can't read it. So yeah, I've got loads coming up. So loads of Chinese pens. I said all the ones in here, these are all pens from China. So there's lots to come. And then obviously I'll do some quite a few, hopefully quite a few non-Chinese pens as well. Jim, a couple of thumbs up there to Ricardo. David, I watched In Harm's Way with John Wayne, Kirk Douglas, Patricia Neal, Tom Tyrone, Burgess Meredith, and Paula Prentice. I forgot how good a film that really is. So, obviously, John Wayne and Kirk Douglas I've heard of. The only other one from there is that I've heard of is Burgess Meredith. But that's from the Batman series from the 60s. I used to love that. I haven't watched that for ages. I'll have to have a look at it. I know it's on one of the streaming services I've got. I might have to do a rewatch of that. David is yes. Yes, she does work for Appleboom. I thought it was. I said the name just rang a bell. A bit like Quasimodo, isn't it? He rings a bell. Doesn't his face ring a bell all the time? I know, crappy dad joke there. Wayward Satellite, welcome to you. The 3776 is smaller than I'd like to, but the broad nib is so good on it. Yeah, same with like my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. Very, very narrow, very thin. But the nib, oh, it's worth it just for the nib. To Jim, we've got a smiley face from David. Ricardo, on the matter of cheaper fountain pens, which piston filler one would you say is the cheapest? It's a Pen BBS 268, I think. Let me just double check. Here's my Pen BBS tray. I can't remember. The 268 might be a vacuum though. Yeah, that's a vacuum filler. Piston pen. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. That's something I could look into. Tony, Ryman's in the UK have Oxford pads with 120 pages of 90GS optic A5 for £8 for a pack of 4. I love optic paper. I love the Oxford optic paper. It's really nice. I've got to be honest, one of my favourite papers, and it's one I would go for. It's just a pain in the ass to get over here. Me make a note of this. Where's I put my pen? Ryman's optic paper. So I've made a note of that. I'll have a look at that and see how much their international shipping is. What I often do, my daughter lives in the UK, so I may, if I really want it, I may order it and get it delivered to her, and then once they're built up enough, get them to ship a whole bulk of stuff over to me. Blonde Scales 1, my 3776 has a broad. Jim to Ricardo, I've recently got the Monteverde MP1 with a 1.1mm stub. That's pretty nice. Blonde Scales 1, Mistress of the Dark, yeah, that Elvira. Marcy Me, I've got a 3776 broad, medium, soft, fine, ultra extra fine, ultra extra fine. They're all glorious. Ricardo, the 377 sits in broad. Jim, yesterday the first ever Gravitas piston filler arrived. It's an all black version, only 500 made. Yeah, I've yet to get on the Gravitas train. I haven't tried any of those. Skip to a comment there. Miss Marilyn Darling, hi Gary, hi everyone, welcome to you. Ricardo, so good that I've got 2 of them. Wow. Tony, for the 3777776, I missed out on a music nib, so settled for a medium in burgundy, which writes like a European medium. Yeah, the next 3776 I want to get with a music nib. Might try and get that later on this year. That'll be an interesting one. I just like the way it looks with the line. Jim, hi to Miss Marilyn Darling. Marcy Me, Texas hockey team is known as the Stars. Awesome. Ricardo, and like hockey, obviously. For those in the UK, it's ice hockey, not proper hockey. Ricardo, hi Miss Marilyn Darling. Blonde Scales 1. Blonde Scales 1, I'm skipping comments all over today. Been to a couple of Stars games. Miss Marilyn Darling, I just spent the last 3 hours at the OC Pen Club. It was so much fun, but I'm exhausted. Yeah, I say I don't go to the one here. It's just too far to go, which is a shame because the couple of times I did go, I learned so much just in an hour, but it's just so far. Marcy Me, to Blonde Scales 1, in Arizona or Texas. Marilyn, hi everybody. Blonde Scales 1, Texas, of course. Marcy Me, sorry about the misprint. Glad to have you here in Texas. Tony, Garry, I was in Port Douglas, 100 kilometres north of Cairns. So that would have been tropical or subtropical there. That would have been quite nice weather, I would have thought. I know, driven by the weather. That's selfish of me. Blonde Scales 1, live in Arizona, but Texas is only an hour away. Marcy Me, I love craft rooms because my home office is shared with my craft room, which often spills out into the dining room. The guest room is off limits. Yeah, the second craft room that she's creating is actually what was the guest room. We don't really have people come to stay anymore, so hopefully she'll be happy then. I did offer to let me move my stuff around. And she said, no, you're not having a second room. Tony, Garry, change your Oz Amazon to Japan in settings and you'll be able to access Japanese selections and prices. Awesome. I may give that a try. Blonde Scales 1, I wish I could have a craft room. Marilyn, Garry, where is your sign? It's out of camera. There it is. Let me pick the camera up, hopefully without giving you all seasickness. There we go. So this year's theme is grow. So generate, renew, optimize, wind up. And then this quarter, what I'm focusing on is asking myself for everything, what can I get out of this? You know, and by getting out of it, it could just be I get some fun, I get some enjoyment. And the idea is to focus. So if I'm not getting something from it, why am I doing it? I say that's just the way I try and, focus myself. But yeah, it's just out of camera. On my normal videos, you'll see it because normally I'm filming this direct from here, which does capture that. But for these lives, so I can read the comments, I've got the camera in a different position. Robin, last week, local channels were showing Elvis movies for his birthday. That was a blast from the past, late 50s and mid 60s. Wow, I haven't seen an Elvis movie for, I want to say 30 years. Wow, that's a long time. David, to Marie, that's why I'm not getting any more for a while, and I got a 15% discount. Mont Blancs are expensive, but well worth it in the long term. That's the end of the peppermint tea. Anita, I liked the dad joke. Yeah, I'm full of those. My wife says I'm full of something else, but yeah, also full of jokes. Marilyn, Noodle as Conrad is $25 on Amazon. That's a good price. I've not tried. Yeah, I have tried a Noodler's pen, but it was that cheap Charlie. Seemed all right. Not tried any of the Noodler's ones, though. Ricardo, does anyone have a dollar pen? Literally costing just that. I've got a $2 pen. I've got a whole load of them because at $2 I bought all the transparent colours. That's the Jinhao 992. Really nice pen, really pleased with it. I may have one I've paid a little bit less for, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Is there a way to find out? Yes, there is. Manufacturers, is it on here? So I was saying yesterday on the members call, during the week I pulled out a list from my database, a list of all the pens and how much I paid for them. Quite an interesting exercise. So let me sort this by... no, I want to sort it by here. So the cheapest pen I've got, the stream will go black for a second because I didn't set up to do numbers. I've just got to go and set this up. It'll take me 1 second, nearly there, 2 more clicks. So here's my numbers spreadsheet. Let me just... So here we've got the manufacturer of the pen, how much it cost when I bought it. What I try and do is get an updated cost whenever I'm doing something that it's got a video in. So this is how much it would cost now to replace. So the cheapest ones I've got are that Jinhao 992, $1.71. So they're really good value. I did this because I wanted to know how many pens I've got. So I'm just going to show you this as soon as it's open. 194 is the last row number. So... Oh, I thought it was 195. Never mind. So that's what, about 192 pens when I take off my header. And then the prices, when I told my son how much it would cost to buy them again, he's planning on how easily he could off me with no evidence so he could sell them all. And a loving son, isn't he? Let's close that window. Miss Marilyn, darling, the Moonman T1 is $22. Tony to Ricardo, AliExpress has a Nebula piston filler for $5. That's a good price. Anita, Move's experience has changed in the last 60 years. Yeah, it absolutely has. Blondscales 1, I hope the ink sample in my mystery dip doesn't freeze. Yeah, that's one of the issues. Was it Anderson's pens that wouldn't ship ink at certain times of years because of the risk of them freezing? Anita, the Conrad is $22.50 on eBay. Tony, I had my first Bath fountain pen meetup today. Being in Bath, the pens were very upscale. Played with Conids, Anoto, Gravitas, etc. Never been to Bath. I used to enjoy watching those TV programs out there. MacDonald and Dodds. It was like a detective show. Unfortunately, I think it's just been cancelled, so there's only 3 seasons. Ricardo, I can buy a pack of 10 fountain pens costing just £9 or less than £1 each. It's a dollar pen from Pakistan. You can have a fine nib or an oblique medium nib. Awesome. Chris, the shark is about $1. Marcy Me, I mentioned the Elvis Sun blue suede shoes to describe ink on my video today. Wow, awesome. You've just put that tune into my head though. I'm not going to attempt to sing it. Tony to Ricardo, Amazon have a 3-pack of fountain pens for $4. £4.50. Papermate, I think. Very smooth writers. Robin, I got a 10-pack of dollar pens back in 2018 or so. Most were demonstrators. A couple of solid colours. I don't remember how I first heard of the brand. They write well. I'll keep an eye out for those. Where did I put my pen again? Oh, it's over there. Dollar pens. Pakistan. That would be a new country for me to have pens from, so that'd be good. Ricardo to Tony Piston Fillers. Chris, $1 Australian is about US 65 cents, so there's that. Tony, Ricardo, yep, the Nebula is a piston filler and writes really well. Robin, yep, all piston fillers. And then we've got thanks there from Ricardo. Pardon me. Steve, does anyone have issues ordering from AliExpress? Shipping to the USA always seems high to me, even though prices are low. Certainly in Australia, we don't have problems. I had 2 deliveries this week from AliExpress. I'm trying to think what they were called. They were for my Star Wars planner, which you'll see a first impressions of this during the week. So I ordered these, some separators for it, and I also ordered these, some like little sticky things, so I can use them. And in there, I've got some Aerofil paper now. I took out the paper that was in there, and I thought, look, life's too short. Let's have some decent paper. The only problem I had, and I still need to work this out, I haven't got the holes in the right place. So I'll have to work on that. It just seems to be too far in. But that's something I can address as time goes on. Let me pop that back over there. Ricardo, I like Bath. Pity the train ticket price. Yeah, trains are so expensive. Ted, I like MacDonald and Dodds as well. I didn't know it had been cancelled. Yeah, I only saw the report on, I think it was Thursday or Friday. So it was something fairly recent. Robin, the dollar pens I have are not oblique. Tony, Ricardo, I'm an old, so Bath is a free 30-minute bus pass ride for me. Awesome. Yeah, I know when we lived... Before we moved here, I worked in London, but we lived in Selby. Now, we'd moved to Selby from London because we'd lived there a few years, but we wanted but we moved to Selby, which is like a little market town. But there was a train direct to King's Cross in London. So what I used to do is get the train. It was about an hour and a half ride, and I used to book it about 3 weeks in advance, each of my trips. And by doing that, I would book first class, and it was really, really affordable. But the key was to book in advance. Robin, I enjoyed McDonald and Dodds too. Never fails. They cancel the shows I like. Absolutely. I'm waiting patiently now. I know it's just come out in the UK for a couple of things. We're waiting for the last season of Vera. And we're also waiting for the next season of Father Brown. Both shows that I like. What else? Grantchester is one we're waiting for. I think that's due to start again up in the UK. And there's another one. I can't remember what it was called. But it's been shown in the UK, but not over here yet. Midsummer Murders, I think it might be. Chris, AliExpress shipping free over $15. Guaranteed a refund if they don't meet delivery times. I recently had a $270 rifle scope refunded and received it a few days later. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, AliExpress. What I've noticed since Temu really took off, AliExpress has really improved over here in Australia. I mean, we buy stuff between the two of them. I find AliExpress is better for fountain pens, whereas Temu seems to be better for most stationery items, and certainly for my wife's crafty stuff. Ricardo, to Robin, the $717 is a solid colour with an oblique nib. It's advertised for Urdu and Arabic writing. Awesome. Marilyn, I love Midsummer Murders. Yeah, my wife got that into me. Tony, Father Brown and Death in Paradise start this week here. That's the things I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Death in Paradise to start. It will be later on this month. They have actually advertised it. The other one I'm waiting for, and I can't understand why they've done this. We've had the Death in Paradise Christmas special, but we haven't had the one that's set in the UK that they put out a Christmas special. The other one, I don't know if you've seen it yet. There is a third a second Death in Paradise spin-off called Return to Paradise, and that's actually set over in Queensland here in Australia. It was on the ABC here, but I know that it's now out in the UK. That was really interesting to watch. Anyway, I'm keeping on talking. The time's really flying by. I'm going to jump over, and this is upon without the stool. I've got to bounce the stool over, and let's go to the overhead camera. So, pens that I've been using this week. The one I've used all week, so this is my weekly pen. That's the Just Turnings Enceladus in Jonathan Brooks Alien Execution. Beautiful blues and greens in this, and it's a matte finish. Cartridge converter. There we go. And on here I've got a double broad nib. Oh, pardon me. So we've got this is one of the things I have noticed with it. Once it's going, it's fine. Just takes a little bit to get going. So Just Turnings. Alien Execution. See what I mean by once it starts writing, it's fine. It's just that first little bit with a double broad nib. And the price for this, he says, is $205. Oh, when I bought it, it was. The ink by Diamine. And it's a good tidings. Nice, nearly black ink, but with a beautiful green sheen to it. Up next, we had the Kaweco Sport. There we go. I'm just giving this a bit of an agitation, a bit of an irritation. You know, it's a small pen, brilliant for taking out and about though. So we've got that Kaweco Sport with a 1.1 stub nib. Price wise, about 45 Aussie dollars. 45. The ink is by Colourverse. And it's Portuguese. Got to check my spelling. I keep spelling this wrong. U-E-S-E. I keep wanting to put E first. Meteor. Nice pen, but I've eyedropped it and it's out of ink, so whoops. That was going to go into the clean out pot. It fell. Into the clean out pot it goes. There we go. Up next, we've got that pen below, and this is called Something Special. Very, very nice. Cartridge converter. So let's show. There we are. I've changed the ink during this month. I think I said that last week. So we've got that pen bloke. It's a broad nib. Price wise, again, when I bought this, which was a couple of years ago now, was 190 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine, and it's Grotto. So this is an extreme sheen ink, and I was going to have a whinge about it because it seemed that no matter what paper I was using, I wasn't able to see any of the sheen. But today, because this is today's pen, there's hopefully the sheen you can see there on that Good Tidings. Might not have dried enough, but today, when I was writing with it, guess what? Loads of sheen. So, can't really complain now. Up next, from Pilot, we've got the Pilot E95S. Not going to write with this one, because it's out of ink. There we go, no ink in there at all. So that's going back into the clean out pot. About 215 Aussie dollars, really nice. The ink I'd had in here was Diamine Cranberry, which is a sheening ink. Lovely combo. I may fill that up again with it later on in the year. Next up, from Lamy, we've got the Lamy 2000. Piston filling pen. Obviously, I'm not going to talk too many details through these because we've seen all these over the past few weeks. So we've got a Lamy 2000. Very smooth, bit like writing on glass. This is a broad and it's 14 karat gold. Price for this, about 340 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colourverse and it's Super Giant. Very nice, gorgeous red ink, and I think it looks really nice with this stubby type line. Next up, we've got the Waterman Karen. Beautiful finish here. This is Marine Amber. We've got that embedded nib there, 18 karat gold. So we've got the, again, that happens with this pen all the time, the Waterman. I think it's actually down to how I hold the pen, because once I just twist it a little bit, it writes really well. So this is a medium 18 karat gold. Price wise, this is for about 445 Aussie dollars. The ink is, let me just double check, yep, Diamine Sleigh Ride. Beautiful ink, this, my favourite ink, full stop. This is now on its third fill. That's how much I like it. I've written it out completely twice, and I think I'm most of the way through this fill. Can't really tell at the moment. Yeah, that's about only half full now, where I'd managed to get completely full. Really like this ink, really like this combo. This might be a permanent combo that I keep. Then the final pen. This is from Asvine. This is the P20 in Starry Skies. Piston filling pen. Got a nice ink window there. So we've got the Asvine P20 with a medium nib. Price wise, we are looking at about 44 Aussie dollars. The ink by Colourverse, and it's Neptune Occultation. Beautiful blue ink with a nice red sheen coming through it. So let's go back up to that grotto. Not sure what the camera's capturing. On here, not showing a lot of sheen from that grotto. Nice orange black background. But on my Ban Chuan paper, which I think is Tomoe River paper in my journal, it was absolutely glowing with the sheen. And there's that Waterman Karen with Diamine Sleigh Ride. Absolutely love that. So there are the pens and inks. Bouncy again. They're the pens and inks that I've been using this week. Now, I'm going to be recording my wrap up on Wednesday. So if you want to vote, if you want to go and pick for what your favourite pen is of the week, head on over to my website. I'll just fetch it up here again. So it's eves.id.au. I did pop it earlier in the chat, and if I remember, I'll pop it as a comment and pop it into the video description. There's this link here to vote for this. It fetches you up here. Now, unfortunately, you need to see all options. Then you can go in there and then click on the one that you think should be the winner. Then what I'm going to do on Wednesday when I record the wrap-up, I'll give my score. I'm not going and looking at the scores of these. And then what I'll do is I'll jump over to this, and then depending on how many votes, I'll then give the score that everybody else has said they think it should be. And it'd be interesting to see, if we get any matchups. So back to the camera. Minimise this again. Minimise. So back to the comments. So Robin, yep, the 717 had some solid colours, but no obliques. I wonder if they added that in the last 6 or 7 years. Ted, last season of Vera was packaged as 2 episodes here in the US. Yeah, it's only 2 episodes. I really hope to do a spin-off. I haven't, as I say, I've not seen them. I hope that at the end of it, Vera retires and Aiden takes over, and then we have, a continuation. I have been slowly reading the Vera books. I haven't read any for a while. I think once I finish the Terry Pratchett, I might go back to them. What I want to do is read all of the Ann Cleeves books, but I started with Vera. I think I've read the first 6. So, yeah, we'll be moving back to that. Robin, is Beyond Paradise the spin-off? That's the one. I love that too. Yeah, Beyond Paradise. I couldn't remember what it was called. I just knew it had Humphrey in it. And when I talk about it to my wife, I just say Humphrey, and that's it. Marcy and me, Midsummer Murders, Murdoch Mysteries are favourites. I've never been able to get into Murdoch Mysteries. My wife likes it. Elaine likes them. But I don't know what it is. I've just never been able to get into them. Sano01, hopefully I pronounced that right. Welcome to you. Have you tried the Mont Blanc Rouge Et Noir? I have not tried a Mont Blanc at all. So each year I do save up to get an expensive pen in January. For this year, I've saved up enough, and I'm just waiting really till the end of the month just to see if it comes on like a January type sale. I'm going to get the Pelikan M1000 in Renaissance Brown. But next year, what I'm planning to do for next January is, my saving target would be to get a Mont Blanc. Not sure which one, though. Tom, is the series Severance on Apple TV shown in your area? Yep, I've already watched the first episode of season 2. Really like it. It's a bit of a cerebral type program. So to me, it really fetches up a lot of thoughts about the office situation and even things like work-life balance. Really like it. Plain Water, welcome to you. Does the Yoho double broad have some line variation? It looks like it. Not really. Certainly not what I would see. But looking at this, yeah, the cross strokes do seem to be a little bit thinner. So there might be a little bit of line variation in there. But it's certainly nowhere near a stub nib. Robin, the pen block material looks like Galen leather / Narwhal exclusive Nautilus. It's gorgeous. It is. I think when I bought it, he said it was like an experimental one. So I think he only made 3 pens. I think it was when he put the post up. So it's fairly unusual, and it's an unusual colour for me, and I actually like that. Robin, did anybody get the Esterbrook Esty, King of the Night? That was a bit of a mouthful. That pen looked so beautiful, but I couldn't bring myself to pay 315 Aussie dollars. David, what's a good, cheap, refillable fountain pen that I could get for my students who are interested in a fountain pen? I want to get something that they can learn to refill without breaking right away. Any suggestions? Jinhao 992 or a Jinhao 82, which is that Pro Gear Slim type shape. Jinhao Shark. Depends on the age. I mean, I think if they're up to maybe 10 or 11, maybe the Jinhao Shark will be okay. Over the age of 11, I would go more for the 92 or the 82. Sorry, the 992 or the 82. I do have a Jinhao Shark in my box to review, so hopefully I'll get round to doing that later on. Or I will. It's scheduled. I'm just not sure when. David, I might need to get around 2 dozen. Yeah, I said the 992. If you look, I'm saying AliExpress because that's what I use. You can get some good job lots where you can buy multiples. Just be careful, keep an eye on the shipping, because quite often that shipping is a little bit more expensive. Marcy Me, I've used the Portuguese Meteor in a cursive medium, I think that is. Pilot Pereira all week. Wonderful performance. Yeah, I love the base colour of the Portuguese Meteor. I don't see too much of the shimmer because it's meant to be a shimmer ink. So there's that to it. The only other thing I would say with it is it can be a little bit on the pale side. Whoops. So here's my rough pad. So here you've got some Portuguese Meteor, and it doesn't show up, especially when you've got it next to Supergiant there. I hope there wasn't just making sure that I wasn't showing this with something stupid on it, and making notes as we're going along. So yeah, that's my only thing with Portuguese Meteor. Jim to David, maybe the Jinhao Shark. Marilyn, the Jinhao 82. Yeah, I'd second the Jinhao 82. Indika, wishes from Sri Lanka. Very useful. Thanks very much. Welcome to you. David, thanks everyone. Right, let's do another refresh. Okay, I'm going to give away some memberships. So, as said, each month YouTube give me 10 free memberships to give away. So these memberships are valid for 1 month. Gives you access to everything that our members get. So I do have a membership level on the website, or on this YouTube channel. Members get early access to most of the videos. So you get access on about 2 days early. So yesterday I put out the video to the members for the video that will come out on Monday. We also do once a month a roughly 30-minute Zoom call. So that's a video chat. You don't have to use video. You can just use a microphone, where we get to chat with each other. We had that yesterday for this month. I absolutely love it. I think it's such a nice way that, it's all right when you've got text, but actually talking to people makes a big difference. Then members also get once a month an Ask Me Anything video. So there are 3 questions that people have asked. And what I do is I create a short video, maybe about 5 minutes. Don't want to go too long with them, where I answer them questions. And not just questions about pens, but questions about anything. I've covered things like what books I like. I think I did Star Wars and Star Trek as well. And so it's just, there's plenty there. So yeah, please, if you're able to support the channel, very much appreciate it. Everything that comes through from the advertising, from the memberships, all gets fed back into buying stuff for the channel. So let's click this button, gift 5 now. So 5 names should appear on the screen. It's thinking. So I've gifted 5 memberships. Then here they are, they're coming out. So well done to all of you. David to Jim, thanks. Do you know if Amazon carries them? Mr. Inky Fingers, hi from Michigan. Welcome to you. David to Marilyn. Hey Marilyn, thanks. How are you doing? Tony, thanks. Gary, and good night to everyone. Gary, I will be going for membership when my 3 month ends. Awesome, thanks for that, Tony. Very much appreciate it. Say it's there. So hopefully, like Tony, Dan in from the UK this time of night is, very, very, very much appreciated. So here's the 5 memberships. Jim to David, the Swan ships from Amazon, the Shark from China. Tom, congratulations to the winners. Blonde Scales 1, congrats. Jim, congrats all. Marilyn, yeah. Marilyn was one of the people who received a membership. Hopefully you'll be able to join when we do our Zoom chat next month. Love to chat with people. And like Marilyn's got her own channel. Head on over there. There's a lot of inks on there. So if I'm interested in an ink, I go to Marilyn's channel, and I also go to that ink bloke, I think it is. Are the two channels I go to if I'm interested in inks to see if they've done reviews on them. Marilyn does hers as a live, so I think that's really brilliant. So you can actually interact with Marilyn as you're doing them. Ricardo, congrats. Marilyn, I'm good, David. How are you? And let's go and refresh this. Robin, congratulations, folks. Have a great week. David to Jim, okay, great, thanks. Marilyn, I'll remember. David, doing all right. Marilyn, it's Friday for me. And then what I'm going to do, let me fetch this up. I've gone through those comments. I know I'm starting to speed up a bit. I'm terrible for going really long. My aim with these, well, initially it was half an hour. That was never going to happen. So my aim now is try and keep them about an hour. But we're already over that. Okay, let's go keynote. So last week's videos. On Monday, I did one where I picked from the Colourvent inks my top 5. I like doing these top 5. I love doing top 5 videos full stop. I think they're a really good way to make you think, to cut down that selection to 5. And I think 5's a nice number. I try to avoid doing runner-up type ones. If I'm saying 5, it will be 5, unless there's some really major reason why not. Wednesday, that was looking at the Irrefill paper, my first impressions. Very impressed with this paper, really, really nice, and I will be getting more of that. And then Friday, we took a look at my inked pens. These are the pens that are inked up, but not in my everyday carry. Then Saturday, we've got the members. We had the member Zoom call. Coming up, so on Monday, so my tomorrow, I think in the States it's still, it'll be your tomorrow as well. We've got the Admoc M800 First Impressions. Beautiful pen, really like it. You'll see my first impressions, as I say, tomorrow. You'll also see this pen appearing this week, because I'm going to use it as my weekly or pen of the week. Wednesday, Aussie Kit pens. I've just realised something. I'll tell you in a minute. Aussie Kit pens. So they're 2 pens I've got which are made in Australia but from kits. I'm guessing the kits came from China. But what they do is they make their own sheaths to go around them. Very nice pens. And then Friday, I brought this in and you got a little sneak peek. I'm showing it to the camera. I don't know why, because when we're on here, there's no camera. That's my first impressions of that Star Wars planner, and also the paper that was in it. My books of the week are The Shroud of Eternity by Terry Goodkind. So I finished that off. Loved it. Really nice. There was a lot more action in it than in a lot of his previous books. I really like Nikki. I think she's a superb character. And then I started Terry Pratchett's Wintersmith. I'm 18% of the way through. Beauty of reading on my ebook. As an ebook, you know exactly how far you're through. It's another one which is, what's her name? Tiffany Aching and The We Free Men. Really enjoying it so far. I say I've only really just started it though. So what I was saying I've forgotten, and now we'll do next week instead, because I say we're running fairly late. I was going to give you a tour of my pop vinyl collection. So the things essentially that are opposite my desk. I've got all the photos ready. So we'll do that next week instead, because the conversation so far today, the conversation today has been awesome. We've had loads of it, and that's what I'd rather have than me telling you about something, so that's been absolutely awesome. So yeah, I'll bump that now to next week. Marilyn, I love interacting with people. Come say hi. Yeah, that's why I do these. I think it's absolutely awesome the way we can interact, especially when it's around the world. Marilyn, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So I think that's virtually every day from memory. Cynthia, thank you so much for the gifted sub, Gary. Hello guys. Welcome to you, Cynthia. We are more than welcome. Indika, when we use various pens, why is the same ink shows dark and light colour? Can you please explain? First thing I'm going to do is make a note straight into the system. Let me get the keypad working. Sorry, I know it's not very exciting when I'm doing this bit, but if I don't make a note, I've made a note to do that as a full video, but very quickly, with your pen, you've got, or with writing, it's like a triangle. So you've got your paper, you've got your nib, and you've got your ink, and round it is like the environment as well, because that can affect it. If you're using the same pen on the same paper with the same ink, it should be fairly consistent. Apart from if you maybe leave that pen for a while between uses, some of the water in the ink will evaporate, so that will obviously then darken the ink a bit. The way the nib works, so you've got the reservoir, which is what holds the ink. Could be a piston, could be a converter, could be a cartridge. It's just there to hold the ink. Then that attaches into the top of the black feed. Well, it's normally black, and on there, so it usually goes onto a little post at the top. I've got a task for myself to actually make a diagram of these. I just haven't got around to it. So you go onto this little post, and that feeds a little bit of ink down, and then you've got channels. You've got channels going down, and you've also got a channel for coming up. So the ink goes down, quite often one, sometimes two channels down towards the nib, and then you've also got the air coming in. If you don't have that air coming in, what you do is you create a vacuum, so the ink will stop flowing. It uses, what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of it. So the ink is sucked down these channels, and then it goes to your nib. Then, depending on the nib, again, you're going to get different things, because nibs are made differently. They've got different tolerances. Even nibs from the same manufacturer. You know, the width of the tines, the width of the tipping on the material, even the material it's made from, can all feed into that. I say I will do that as a proper video, because I think it's something which really needs a fairly in-depth one to do. But hopefully that's answered your question. But yeah, I'll make a video on that. Tony, it's Sunday morning for me. Marilyn, so far the colour vents have been really good. They wash out good. Yeah, I've only washed a couple out so far, and they do seem quite nice. Cynthia, Sunday morning, 2:30. I think Ricardo's London based as well. Gents and ladies, have a great week and see you soon. Marilyn, you're going to love the Admot M800. Yeah, well, obviously I've done the first impressions. Really enjoyed that, and looking forward to using it this week as my pen of the week. Tony, Steel Eye Span have a soundtrack CD for the Wintersmith. Maddie Pryor at her best. Yeah, I don't know what it is over here. I know there's a number of TV shows made from Pratchett books, and the only one I saw was when we visited the UK many years ago. Just can't find them here, which is a shame, because I think there's one being made about the watch. I think, was it Making Money or Going Postal had one made? So there's a few of them out there. Marilyn Pooling, yep, there's also that coming in. This is where we were talking about the different colour of the ink. Chris, capillary reaction, that was the word I was looking for. I'll say I will do a proper video on it. Jim, have a good week all. Marilyn, the first day's Supergiant washed out the stain in my Serendipity dip pen. That's handy to know. That really is. You know, if we can use that with some pens where it's got that little bit of stubbornness. So at the moment, that's all the comments. I will come back in a second and check them. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. I know I say this on all my videos, don't I? If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so that you can get new videos as I record them. Apparently there's also a bell thing you can click. I don't do that, but if you click the bell icon as well, that gives you notifications. So for me, I don't bother with that with any of the channels I follow, but I'm really a bit... best way to describe it is anal, because I go through each morning I go through my subscriptions and then pick the ones I want to watch. So yeah, please support the channel. Anything that's done to support the channel really helps us and really appreciate it. Indika, thank you. Got the perfect answer. Thank you again. Yeah, I say it was very, very quick, so I need to obviously check on some things, but yeah, it's going to make a really interesting video, I think, there. Marcy Me, good Texas Saturday evening, or whatever time of the day in the world. A thumbs up from Marilyn. Blonde Scales 1, have a great week all. Yep, hope everyone has a good, fun week. Hope you all staying safe. Yeah, Chris, David Jason was the first Discworld telly movie. That's the one I saw with David Jason in it. I think it might have been Hogfather, from memory, because it was at Christmas time. Marilyn, yeah, ring the bell. Get your notifications coming through. One more refresh. Miss Marilyn, darling, set it to all. Chris, as a fan of the books, I couldn't really get into them though. Yeah, I remember watching one of them, the one with David Jason, but that's it. Marilyn, good night all. See you all next week. Thank you to that. Thank you to everybody. I absolutely love doing these. Looking forward to next week's. Check out my videos as you go through the week. They're there. I really enjoyed doing all my videos. Really enjoyed all these. So thank you all, and I'll talk to you again soon.